Welcome to the brand new Draymond Green Show YouTube channel. Hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our content. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Draymond Green Show. As you all know, the inner child in me is at Disney World right now. Excited as hell to be doing this interview. I like to do intros and name off accolades. I'll be sitting here forever trying to name these accolades, so I'm not going to do that, but would like to welcome none other than the one and only Shaq Diesel, Shaqstradamus, the Big Cactus, and the list goes on and on. My man Shaq, what's up, brother?
I'm not talking to you until you undress me as my correct name, the Black Steph Curry.
The Black Steph Curry, there it is. We got another one just like that. We got another one. Now, man, number one, I want to say thank you. Like I said, just what you've meant to me in my life from afar. I was just telling Travis when we was on the way over here, like I still remember the first time I ever met you in the picture we took at Staples Center, and you was looking the other way and shit.
I was?
Yeah, you know,
my bad, dog.
Looking the other way.
My bad.
I did not think anything of it. I was happy as hell to get the picture. But
before we get started, I want to say I've always appreciated the way you play.
Thank you.
You know, we always get in this conversation about us and them. You play like us, big dog. I know you wasn't 6'8", 6'9". How tall are you?
6'6".
Okay, yeah, I know you wasn't 6'8", 6'9", but you always played really big for your size. I appreciate the way you play. All the texts and files and all that bullshit, that's what you got to do to win. And at the end of the day, you got four of them things, and that's all that matters. So I want to say I appreciate you.
No doubt.
And the way that you played.
Thank you, man. That means a lot to me. So just in getting into it, number one, I want to ask you about your approach in TV, because what I've seen is so many guys get up there, and I try to be sure that I'm not doing it myself, but so many times you see guys get up there and they want to throw stones, you know, and in specific, you get former players getting up there throwing stones at guys, acting as if they weren't players. But we always say, once you're a player, you're always a player. And you get so many guys that just go up there throwing stones, not standing up for guys, acting like they were perfect when they played as if they ain't ever do it. And you always take the opposite approach. Can you talk to me first off just about that?
We are getting closer to crowning an NBA champ. And with the action heating up on the court, hotter than ever, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. It's great. I've got it. You should. Takes less than 90 seconds. Official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Okay, now we got the conference finals. Pacers, Celtics. T-Wolves, Dallas Mavericks. These games have been so great. Live betting, same game parlays, odds boosts. So much is covered. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like a team to win. So you go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, again, download it 90 seconds, select your squad, place your bet. It's that simple, okay? New to DraftKings. It's called No Sweat Bet. This is a new one. It's easy, called No Sweat Bet, up to $1,500. Just deposit at least $5. That's it, $5, a 5 spot. That's it. And you'll get a bonus bet back if your bet doesn't hit. Yeah, I said it right. If your bet doesn't hit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The code is Colin. That's me, C-O-L-I-N. DraftKings Sportsbook app, download Colin, C-O-L-I-N, new customers, no sweat bet, up to $1,500 you get if you just deposit $5 and your first bet doesn't hit. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
We all get criticized. You know, I was told one day, if there's some truth in the criticism, you have to look at it different. Like, Shaq could have been the greatest player ever, but he wasn't a great free throw shooter. Can't get mad at that. There's truth in that, right? Mm-hmm. So when I criticize players, I try to put some truth in it. Like, for 10, 15 years, people think that I hate Dwight. I actually really love Dwight. A little bit of me, probably a little bit more athletic and jump higher. I would always say you got to average 28-10. I would always say you're not dominating. So hopefully he would get the message and say, fuck you, Shaq. This is what I got to do. That's what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did to me. When I first got to LA, I was putting up historical numbers, and we was getting swept. And Kareem said one day, they said, Shaq, man, Shaq's going to be a great player like you. He said, is he really that great? They're not winning. And he has G14 classification to say that. And, you know, I could have took it as a jab, like, Kareem, you just hating because I'm averaging more points to you and I make more. But I was like, you know what? He gave me the lesson inside the criticism. So when I criticize, I just try to give the lesson. And, sometimes people take it the right way and sometimes people don't. But people like me and you, we have G14 classification. We know what it takes to play at a certain level, and we know what it takes to win the championship 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times when we say something, like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, and then a lot of times I test people out. My motherfucker soft, just to see what I'm dealing with. Same thing I did to Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing I did to Penny. Same thing I did to D-Wade. And if you respond and turn it into greatness, I know I'm dealing with a fucking dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like I jumped on Donovan one time and he kind of went, so I knew that I had to handle him with kitten gloves. But so a lot of times I try to criticize and give you the answers, and a lot of times I just try to just say something hateful just to see who you are. Because again, I would want to listen to a guy like me. Because you know what? The best thing I did was listen to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he said, that motherfucker, he great, but he ain't that great, and he ain't winning. And I'm looking up at the fucking jerseys, I'm like, fuck, he right. I got to start winning, So, I try to protect the guys as, much as possible, but people like us, we don't have to hate. Like we actually know what we're talking about. And, sometimes guys understand it and sometimes they don't. Like the other day, and this went viral. I don't know why it went viral. Joker is my guy. I've always talked great about Joker, right?
Absolutely.
And I said to him, I said, Joker, I want you to hear this from me.
Mm-hmm.
So other people like Shannon Sharp don't get on their fucking podcast and twist it and try to make it look like I'm hating. And I said, yo, you the best big man in the league. You're my favorite player. You're the vice president of the Big Man Alliance. However, I think SGA should have got MVP. Like when you're a man and you're dealing with another man, respect is a must.
Mm-hmm.
Like Draymond, you shouldn't have kicked him in his balls. I'm not hating. I'm just saying, bro, they need you for the next game. You should. They ain't like I'm hating. So, for people who don't try to understand the clarity that we have, and they try to make it something different. So, I'm glad you asked that question. So again, to your answer, I try to criticize, but give you the answers to the test. Like, hey, Dwight, you want to be dominant, average 28-10. And, hey, Donovan, you ain't no superstar yet. Like, I want you to sometimes say, fuck Shaq, and just go do what you do. Because if we protect this thing of ours, guys going to be making 80, 90 million. They say that when this next deal come around, Luka going to be making 80 million. That ain't because of me. That's because of Dr. J. He gave it to Mike. Mike gave it to me. I gave it to Brian. Brian gave it to y'all. Y'all about to give it to Luka. Luka about to give it to Wembanyama. So we have to make sure that, all these guys play at a high level. And the ones that really take it as hate, the ones that don't understand, I don't really care.
You just mentioned Donovan when you said he wasn't a superstar yet. Is he a superstar now? Has he crossed that now? Because that was like 2-3 years ago when you said that.
He's close. And, as you know, there's a fine line between a star and a superstar.
Absolutely.
He's close. I would like to see him dominate more.
Mm-hmm.
Any guy that can put up numbers anytime he wants shows me that you're a puppy, but you can be trained to be a mean dog.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see a bunch of puppies and you're looking at that one puppy like, and that's the one you always pick because you be like, if he's aggressive right now, I could train him to be more aggressive. So like when I went at him, I made it seem like a diss, but I wanted him to respond and be like, okay, watch this, because that's what all the greats do.
I sit back and I still watch you today like I watched you when I was a kid. Only difference is then you were playing the game of basketball, and now we're all watching you crush the game of life from a business perspective, just from a legend, and everything that you do, we're watching you do it at the highest level, and I admire that. And one question that I have for you is, how is it that you have stayed human? And when I say stayed human, here's what I'm saying. You are 7'1", 300 plus pounds, African American man. So you're already bigger than everyone. That's a strike against you in height and mass. You're a black man in America. That's a strike against you. You are a legend. Most people won't believe it, but that's actually a strike against you because people put you on a pedestal. They want to tear you off the pedestal. Everything that you do is going to be criticized. How is it that you have stayed human to people? like approachable. No one's like people see you and they're like, "Oh my god!" And like when I see you with people, you're immediately able to break that ice. Like, how have you stayed that through the success and through all of the things that are up against you, just naturally because of who you are and the way that you look?
When I first got drafted, I was making a lot of money, and I took my mom to a restaurant, and I was acting Big Willie. I was acting like I was the shit. And my mother was disappointed, and she said, "Son, it costs you nothing to be nice." So I dropped the arrogant thing, because, coming from where we come from, we didn't have anything, and now I got it, so this is my world, you're going to do what the fuck, all that attitude. She's like, it costs you nothing to be nice. And then one time I was in LA, and I was at a restaurant, and I saw a superstar. I'm not going to say his name, but a kid came and asked him for an autograph. He fucking made the kid cry. And I always said to myself, if I ever get to superstar status, I'm going to always take care of the kids. My mama said, be nice. I'm going to take care of my family. Everything I do is for my family, especially my mother. We play the game of basketball, and they pay us a lot of money. From 2 to 17, it hit me when I first got drafted. My mom never had her own house. Like, she never really had her own house. And our parents, they give us the basics. Be respectful, go to school, get this education, and make sure you always work hard. That was, the basics for our family. So when I said to myself, you know what? I'm about to buy my mama a house, right? I'm about to buy my dad the same 600 Mercedes I got. I'm about to take care of my brother. I'm about to take care of my family. Now, there's many ways to lose that. And you know the ways to lose that. So you stay away from that and you lean towards the stuff that keeps it. Start businesses, educate yourself on, financial stability, on, financial wealth. Everything I do is for my family. And now that I have 7 children now, I have to do and I have to say the right thing. Good thing about me and my crew is if I happen to get offline, they can check me. Like, I did a little AI disc record. My mom wasn't happy with that, so I'm done with it. I ain't gonna say nothing else about it. So, that's another attribute I have is I always listen. The world famous Uncle Jerome,
Absolutely.
the only one that could turn my motor off. Like, he'd tell you bullshitting. Like, I used to, I got tired of dunking and go to my jump hook. So every now and then I like to shoot the fadeaway. And I may miss 4, but as soon as I fucking hit one, I look at him and be like, don't nobody want to see that shit. Fuck that. Don't shoot that dumbass shit. So, you have to listen sometimes and you have to, follow your goals and you have to stick to your principles. My mother is an avid TV watcher. I would never want her to sit down and see me do something crazy. And then FOTM, don't fuck off the money. Do not fuck off the money. So I try to do the right thing. I try to say the right thing. And I'm just being nice. I'm 50 years old. There's no need for me to be arrogant towards anybody that looks up to me. No need for me to be arrogant towards anybody. If you approach me the wrong way, I know how to reapproach you with that same energy. But listen, I'm a nice guy. I've fulfilled all my dreams. All my children hate using this word, but I have 7 perfect children. Like, they don't give me no problems. A couple in college, a couple graduated. Shout out to my nephew, Miles Bailey. He just graduated. I'm going to help him get in law school. So, the family is very important to me. So, again, I just try to do and just try to say the right thing, keep my mouth shut. I don't get into the gossip mess and all that. And I just try to make people smile.
You did the unthinkable. We've seen a couple guys attempt to do it. Then I think the latest and most popular was Big Baller Brand with the Ball family. You started Shaq, the apparel line, sneakers, clothes, and starting that as a household name as the Shaquille O'Neal, most dominant player we've ever seen play. I remember 6th grade, a pair of shoes that my grandfather bought me from Kmart, I want to say. Shaqs. They were the kind of all white with the black down the middle, like through the sole, through the tongue. Kind of had like and $30. As a household name, as when people say premium, like you want to do premium things, you said no. I'm gonna have these $30 sneakers. Number one, How did you accomplish that? Because you're going up against Nike. You're now the president of Reebok, owner and president of Reebok, Adidas. You're going up against all these brands, and you say, "No, I'm going to go do my own." No, help me understand. How did you go about that process? Who did you do it with to help you understand the marketing and the distribution and all of those things initially to start it?
So one day, me and my cousin Kenny were leaving practice in Orlando Magic. And Orlando Magic was the first arena I had, was in the hood. So they used to come out, Shaq. Matter of fact, Marquise Daniels, when I was playing with him with Boston one time, he said, "Yo, man, you don't remember me?" And I said, "No," and he showed me a picture. He was one of those kids that used to always come and get autographed jerseys and get tickets and all that. Yeah. So one day, me and my cousin Kenny, we walking out the back, and this lady, she's coming, she's, dragging her son, and she's not smiling. The boy is Shaq, she's not smiling. And she's like, "You motherfucker." And I was like, "What did I do? I don't know you. You motherfuckers got these high-ass motherfucking sneakers. My baby, he want these fucking high-ass Reeboks and I can't afford them." So you know me, I had a couple stacks. I was like, "Ma'am, I don't do the price point. Here's the money." And she smacked the money out my hand. "I don't want that. Won't you motherfuckers make an affordable shoe?" And I'm riding in the car and I'm thinking, I was like, that was my mom and me. I asked my dad for some Jordans one time. That motherfucker looked at me like, "Man, you better get the fuck out of my face." He looked at me like that. I had to cut grass and fucking wash car and sell lemonade and all that bullshit. And then by the time I got my $110, I was a size 15. I bought some 13s. That's why my toes all fucked. I ain't gonna show my toes on camera, but that's something like I tried to squeeze in those Jordans. So all that shit was going back to me. And I said, you know what? Call Reebok and tell them after this, I'm gonna do my own thing. So if you look at this brand right here, and we're all creatures of our environment. Jordan has to what?
The Jumpman.
And this is the Dunk Man. So when I was in college one time, the professor said, create something that you can see being sold in the future. And you know me, Shaq shirt, Shaq drawers, Shaq socks. So I was in marketing class, I was in business class, so I patented the Dunk Man because that's how I dunk. I try to put my nuts in your face. So this right here, Dunk Man, was created in 89, 90. And I just was going. And then I was talking to my dad about it. I was like, this shit might not work. I'm going up against these powerhouses. And he said something. He said, there's more poor people than there are rich people. I was like, shit. So, I think it only worked because I was a household name. Of course, you had Jordan and all those guys, but I was saying, I'm Shaq. And the only thing that took me a while to get is even though they're $30, you can't make them look like they're $30. Because you know how we get fucking criticized in the hood. And like people, I always hear stories how people used to get bullied for wearing my shoes. That's because their mindset wasn't right. I never made shoes that looked like $30.
Yeah.
I even went over to China and be like, motherfucker, I want the same leather. I want the same everything. So I just tried to keep the price point down. And that's why I did that, because, it was the right thing to do. And, when it was Reebok, another person, then me. Now it's just me and the shoe manufacturer guy. So, if you go with Walmart, who has 50,000 stores, Kmart got that, and then it was a no-brainer. And then you get with all these companies and they say, okay, we don't want the Shaq brand. I'll say, okay, so I'll just create the Dunkman brand. So Dunkman was at Kmart and Shaq was at Walmart, and I just sat back. It wasn't like, because listen, back then, when I first came in, brother, I had so much money, I didn't need no more money. So I was like, if I don't make money, cool. But, I got a report one day that said, bro, you done sold, since you started this, you done sold 250. It's up to about 400 million pair now. But now I got this new company and we coming with that funk now. We about to, so we were downstairs, so we about to come mid-level and then, even upstairs. Because Magic Johnson said something to me very important. He said, it's okay to be the man, but at some point you want to start owning things. So this is what I own. This is mine. And, a lot of people like it and respect it. And I'm going to keep giving them stuff that looks good, but at a price that they can afford.
In 2016, a friend of mine introduced me to authentic brand groups. I had no clue what the fuck it was, what they did, what it meant, how you go about it. As I've gained more business knowledge and contacts. I've learned more about what it is. And when I was introduced to Authentic Brands Group, I was actually introduced to it by this is who Shaq just partnered with. And I thought it was a very interesting lesson for me because it was this is who Shaq just partnered with, not this is who Shaq just sold his company to. Can you walk me through that process of you partner with Authentic Brand Groups but necessarily didn't take all cash or something?
Yeah, so ever since a youngster, jealousy motivates me. Jealous of Steph Curry. I wish I could fucking shoot like that. I'm jealous of Clay. I wish my jump shot was that motherfucking pretty. I'm jealous of Brown. He's almost a billionaire. I'm not. Instead of taking that jealousy and turning into hate, it turns into motivation. So I'm walking down Hollywood Boulevard and I'm like, how the fuck does Elvis, who's been dead for 60 years, still make money? So now I start studying. Because, bro, I'm walking down Hollywood, every fucking store, bro. Elvis shirts, hats. And this was towards the end of Shaq. And you know how it is towards the end, and motherfuckers act like they forget who you are.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, you know what, fuck that. I want to live forever. So I'm seeing all this Elvis and Marilyn Monroe shit. So I did my research and I met with 2 companies. And I was like, hey, I want to, this is who I am and this is what I built. Me, Mike, and Perry, and then Colin and Leonard Armalo, this is what we built. Would you be interested in, doing a partnership with it? And the first company's like, yeah, we want to buy it. We want to own it. I was like, how much you talking? Nope. And then, I met with, Authentic Brands. They said, hey, yeah, we want to buy it, want to be your partners. I said, well, can I invest in your company? So they wrote me a big check and I wrote them a big check and now I'm the number 2. And basically what this does is just make sure my name lives forever. And if it doesn't live forever, all the brands that we own, my business still lives together. And again, it's all about family. I have 7 kids. My kids got mad at me because I did a little speech and I was trying to be funny, but I was serious. We're not rich.
Right.
I'm rich. So I want them to be able to work and understand and, because like I always show them what respectable nepotism is. I took my second son, Sharif, with me to a business conference and he was amazed that the Walmart family will make every member that wants to be, that work with the family, they'll make them take an aptitude test. And however you score on the test, that's where you're going to start at. So one guy who was a part of the Walmart family was very wealthy. He was like, I didn't take the test seriously, so my uncle made me shuffle shit for 2 years at the horse farm. But teaching him the business of horse manure business and how it was, so like he learned that. So Sharif was amazed. I was like, this is how it works, my brother. I'm here, but only the kids can take it boom, 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 bam. And that's what I'm, trying to, show my kids.
A lot of people in your position, with the amount of wealth that you accumulated, most people do one or two things. They pass their money on to their heirs, um, and some people do what called ruling it from the grave, where if you die, they got parameters that they can't get out of to protect people. Others give it away. Like you got these different giving pledges and different things nowadays, and they give it all to charity. What is your mindset around your children and how you either give them money as they become adults or when you die, or like, nah, I worked for this and you need to learn to go work on your own and I'm giving it all away? What's your approach to those?
I I told my kids all the time, we don't need another basketball player in the family. Give me a lawyer. Give me a veterinarian. Give me a hedge fund operator. So they get something, but the higher they go in education, the more they get. And I tell them all the time, I said, school is important. Education is important to me. I wasn't the smartest guy in the book, but I took things that were very hard and broke it down to its simplest form. Like, when I was learning business in school, I really didn't understand it until I got with a businessman and he showed me what a joint venture was. He showed me what a, subchapter S corporation is. So I was like, oh, this is what it means to get education. So I just tell them, hey, whatever it is you want to do, let me know. I'll hook you up and I'll start you off. And once you master that, we'll be on our way. And again, I hate using that P word, but I don't have no problems with none of my babies. None at all.
Man, that's incredible. Getting into the basketball, you had the opportunity to play with, and in a major way, D Wade, Kobe. and Penny. You played with Bron. To me, that was kind of the tail end of your career. Like, it wasn't as Shaq dominant as you were with those guys. When you look at those three guys, though, rate them.
It's tough to rate them because we speak a language, right? And if I say in our language, but it gets out, not saying that your show would do that, but even if you put out a clip, the ones that don't comprehend our language would try to make it look like I'm rating them. But I'm gonna rate them because you're a good friend of mine and you asked me to do it. Kobe, number one. He had the master killer mentality. And I like to say I helped him get that. Because when he first came in, I put the Donovan test on. Oh, fuck, you ain't shit. No, don't shoot. Fuck that. And it would drive him crazy. You know, you talk about the 6 hours a day in the gym. Yeah, he did that just so he could shut me the fuck up. And I loved it because I already knew what I was going to do. I already knew I was going to give you 28, 10 in the playoffs, 35, whatever. But I needed another guy. And I always used to piss him off. You know this very well. You know, I don't know how your team was, but you know for a fact you don't have to be like this to win a championship. You do not. On the court, you have to be like this,
Absolutely.
but attitudes and you don't have to be like that. So, you know, we used to always go at it, and it was, I don't want to say my fault, but I knew what the fuck I was doing because when he came in, he showed me that he wanted to be a dog. He was that puppy that was nibbling on a chair, and I was like, okay, watch this. Motherfucker, you ain't, nah, fuck, don't shoot. Shoot it again, motherfucker. So, like, it just used to piss him off. And then by the time he got into himself, and I kind of had to make a decision, like, you know, Phil was like, listen, let him do what he do in the fourth quarter. And once I made that decision, I was like, you know, and then because like first three quarters, give me the fucking ball, let me do what I'm going to do, let me get us in the penalty, and then because I'm not a great free throw shooter, fourth quarter, I'll step back and you do what you do. And we did that. And, you know, he sacrificed. He did because all those finals where he helped me win a championship, he damn sure could have easily got finals MVP, but that was our plan. Big dog, you eat for the first three, and the fourth I take over. And my favorite game in Indiana was on our first championship where I fouled out, and I looked at him and was like, because if we lose, it's all my fucking fault. Shaq, you motherfucker, you want to be a rapper, you doing movies, and you ain't concentrating on your free throws. I don't know what my percentage was, but it wasn't black Steph Curry like. So I already know if we fucking lose, this series is going to be my fault. I'm looking at Kobe, motherfucker, do me like that. I'm like, and that motherfucker, he had an incredible 4 or 5, like, and then I knew then we was gonna win our first championship. So him for that. Penny, ultimate team player. That motherfucker. And I don't know if you know the story, but second movie, Blue Chips. So, you know, it was already a problem for me to go fucking shoot movies. You're not gonna be able to work out. So it was in my contract. I gotta work out from 8 to 12. So they built a little fucking gym and I got all the NBA players to run down. And this motherfucker is diming me up like crazy. 6'7", motherfucker smooth, and I'm running, and as soon as I go like that, the fucking ball's there, I'm spinning, he throwing the lobs. I was like, yo, man, who the fuck is this actor? Because, you know, we on the movie set, that's Penny Hardaway. And I don't know about you, but I don't be looking at college players seeing who the fuck I'm. I got shit to do, so I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? It's like, man, that's fucking Penny Hardaway. And I can remember before I left, you know, us losing and getting swept, D. Scott come to me and say, yo, man, you got to fucking take over. Because I'm the military kid. I'm the disciplined kid. Yes, sir, no, sir, whatever you say, sir. D. Scott was like, man, fuck that. You got to take over. So I was like, you know what? Now I'm going to try it. Hey, man, you know who Penny Hardaway is? Yeah, we might not get him. We want the first pick. We want to go with C-Web. Nah, fuck that. You're going to have to get Penny. Yeah, I don't know if we can get Penny. Listen to what the fuck I'm telling you right now. My deal is up in 2 years. If you don't give me what I want to help me win this championship, I'm going to have to look elsewhere. So me, Kenny, and Uncle Jerome, we at the house. We watching the draft. They draft Chris Webber. I'm fucking picking up lamps. I'm just tearing the motherfucking house apart. Because I'm like, these motherfuckers didn't listen to me. They tested me, you know. Because now that I put myself in charge, motherfucker, I'm in charge.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to do what the fuck I say, or else I'm going to have to go somewhere where they're going to let me be in charge. So I'm tearing the fucking house up. I'm going crazy. Kenny and them trying to wrest me to the floor. And then they say, wait. the Orlando Magic make a trade with the Golden State Warriors for Penny for Chris. And I was like, oh, shit, they did it. They listened to me. So now D. Scott and them don't know what I got because I don't know if they know Penny, but I know this motherfucker's nice. So him and D. Wade. Our first argument was in the finals. We go down 0-2. I'm declining to Shaq. I'm going through a divorce. I'm not Shaq. I have my first 2 games fucking terrible, awful. So I pulled D. Wade in the room. The fuck you gonna do, man? Motherfucker, you want to be the man? What the fuck you gonna do? And he had a look of I wasn't trying to fight. I was just asking questions. He had a look of relief, like, oh, I can. So yeah, motherfucker, I got 4 people on me. I just took, well, in the future, I'm going to talk to my good friend Draymond. He going to tell me they're going to put a motherfucker in front of me, behind me. That's the fuck they're doing to me right now. What the fuck you going to do, though? And he said, okay, Shaq. And he went off. So it's not that I'm rating him, even though I answered your question. I was fortunate enough to play with 3 of the greatest guards. And Bron has so much power. Like, when I got there, I've never seen a young kid with that much power, and deservingly so. Mm-hmm. Like, he had everything in order, and it was just so. And I think we could have possibly went further. I don't know if you remember, we were in first the whole year. Big Baby broke my thumb, and I was out. I came back. I wasn't. At that time, I was already declining to Shaq anyway. You break my thumb, and then I got to sit out 5 weeks, and then try to come back and beat a Boston team. It wasn't going to happen because at that point, I was like, I got to get fucking 5 before he do. Yeah. I already got 4, and this motherfucker, so I was ring chasing, but I was just, like you said, I wanted to just try to step in and, help people. And then when I went to Boston, same thing, I thought we could have made it pretty far, but I tore my Achilles. But, I hate rating those guys because I don't want ignorant people who don't understand our language to try to twist it up and, oh, he said Kobe was better. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying all those guys had different attributes and they were great players.
Do you regret so you went so hard for Penny, for Orlando to get Penny. Do you regret leaving Orlando as soon as you did and not seeing it through with Penny the whole way?
No. And the reason is I am programmed to once you make a decision, you live with that decision, right or wrong. And, one thing about my agent at the time, who Len Armato was, he informed me about business. I knew where the money was going. When I came in, because I think what even got me interested in playing basketball, John Konkak was making 15 for 3. I was at home one day and my father smacked me in the back of the head with a paper because I was a medium-level juvenile delinquent. I was like you. I was a fucking football guy. So I used to like to bring that pain. Mm-hmm. So I was like, and then my high school coach said, you ain't going to make it. I ain't had no scholarships. I already had a plan to join the fucking Army. I already knew the Army life was a good life. I'm going to join the Army. My father smacked the shit out of me one day with a paper. Look at this. And it was John Konkak. No disrespect to John because, I ended up playing with John. He's a great fella. And he said, hey, look at this dude. So we got the 15 for 3. I ain't the smartest guy in the world. I know that's $5 million a year. So I'm watching John Konkak play in San Antonio Hemisphere Arena. And I'm like, damn, I'm like this now. So now I really started taking basketball serious. And I had a guy that I met in Germany named Dale Brown. He already offered me a scholarship, so I already know I'm going to LSU. So my agent kept telling me, the money's going to be a lot. So when I first got drafted, he said, how much you want? I was like, I don't know, $6 million a year. He's like, nah, man, we're going to ask for 50. And I was like, what? He said, we're going to ask for 50. I ended up getting 40 for 7. I think I was the first to do this. He's like, but I'm going to put a clause in there. You can do something after 4. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So when it came back around to Orlando, everybody was talking about $100 million. I want to be the first $100 million guy. It was mine. So I started high. I said 150. And they said no. And then here during the Olympics, 96, me and Uncle Jerome, we had Magic City, doing what we do at Magic City. And my agent called. It's like 2:30 a.m. He said, man, I got a call. I need you to come to this hotel. I said, for what? He said, come. So I get there, and it's the great Jerry West. And I used to always see him when we play Lakers, never really met him, but of course I know he is. I shake his hand. He said, you want the good news or the bad news? I said, I want the bad news. He said, I couldn't get you to 150. I said, well, what's the good news? We can get you 120. But he was like, you got to sign it right now. So I was like, and then I told Leonard, I said, call Orlando. He said, They weren't even close. So, hey, my mom needed a new house, even though she didn't. That's how I'm thinking. So I went that. So even though I always think about what me and Penny could have done, it's not a decision I regret, because when it comes to family and it comes to making decisions, I make the decision as a leader, as a general, and if it happens to be the wrong decision, that's something that I can live with.
You said something when you were just discussing Kobe. When you were discussing Kobe, when you were what y'all did in the fourth quarter. You said quarters 1 through 3, I dominate, and then we let Kobe take over in the fourth. And I recently was just on Instagram maybe a week ago, and not even a week ago, and Gilbert Arenas on his podcast was talking about Joker and saying, when it's time to get a bucket, the ball always go to Jamal Murray towards the end of the game. So how can you say he's the best player? Talking about Joker because Jamal Murray get those last shots. And you pretty much just said, that's what me and Kobe did. Like, I did this, and then we let him go then. So what do you make of Gilbert Arenas' statement about Joker saying he's not as good because Jamal Murray gets the ball down the stretch and he takes all the big shots?
Being that he was a part of us, he has that G14 classification. But Joker is really good, and Jamal is really good. That's just the way their team is set up. When it comes to most valuable player, I always thought it meant the baddest motherfucker in the league. Like, you're a guy who made history, which should have been my history, the most dominant, the unanimous MVP. He's the baddest motherfucker in the league. I don't give a fuck what y'all record is, where y'all at, 1 through 8. He's the baddest motherfucker in the league. That's the most valuable player to me. I don't understand what the classifications are. Best player on the best team. We as players, we know who the baddest motherfucker is. We know who the strongest is. We know who the best. Like, we know. All these voters sometimes they just get with their favorites and they stick with their favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fucking criteria is. So, I think the point that, Gilbert was trying to make is, okay, if he's the baddest guy, why is he getting the ball? Sometimes you got to do that. Like, Shannon Sharp said something the other day. Oh, Shaq wasn't the best player on the team. That's true. I'm not better than fucking Penny Hardaway. I'm not better than Kobe Bryant. I'm not better than Dwyane Wade. But I'm the baddest motherfucker on the team. That's what I always try to be. I always try to be the biggest, baddest fuck all that bad. Bro, I wasn't better than Alonzo Mourning and Christian Laettner coming out of college. But I was the baddest motherfucker. That's why I got picked number 1. So, a lot of times, like, if you got G14 classification, I'll let you say what you want. If you don't, I ain't gonna let you. Like, sometimes people take our niceness for granted, and I'm big on G14 classification, so I don't have a problem with what Gilbert said. He's been there, he's done that, he was with us. I understand that, but all opinions are subjective. You either agree or you disagree. The problem we have now in this world is somebody say something, you don't like it, you want to take it and put it in your thing. That's cool too, but just make sure you have that G14 classification. And G14 classification gets you in the building. We have ranks. Me and you have the highest fucking ranks. Me, you, Steph, Cole, Magic, we on the top motherfucking floor. A lot of guys are in the building, but they don't have the same, right to say certain things as we do. But again, I do have a problem with what he said where I hate all sinners. I don't hate all sinners. I've never said anything bad about Joker. I just think they thought I was trying to be funny when I told them. I said, no, I want you to hear from me first, Joker, and I'm telling you like a man. You my guy. Love you. But SGA should have got an MVP. That ain't no diss, but again, I did it, and I slowed it down so people can understand that, and I even added, hey, this is no disrespect to you, and they still take it and twist it, and Shaq hates all big men. I don't hate all big men. I hate all big men that don't play like fucking big men.
Yeah.
That's what I hate.
Couple more questions before we get out of here. The modern day big Joker, those guys, Joel, Wemby.
I'm jealous of them.
Why?
I wish I could step out and shoot the 3, brother. You know why I call myself Black Steph Curry? Because if I go to the gym and miss 190 fucking threes and make one, I'm the Black Steph Curry. That shit fucking feel good to step out and shoot that 3, bro. But again, you got to understand about me. When I'm jealous, I'm not envious. I'm jealous to fucking motivate me. So every now and then I go out there and try to Klay Thompson my shit, and I built the corporate. I just go out there and try to shoot. I'm jealous of them because I wish I was allowed to do that. Back then I would every now and then take and go coast to coast. The coach would look at me crazy. So they're allowed to do it. Embiid is a mixture of me in the post and Akeem Olajuwon outside the post. And Joker, man, I was trying to figure who he reminded me of. I was thinking a little Brad Daugherty, a little Sabonis in the 84 land. Like, his game is just nice. And I like people that play at their pace. I asked you about Luka one time. I was like, he really that nice? And you was like, yeah, the motherfucker's strong and he play at his pace. So I really like those guys. Any other big Wembanyama is different. He's thin, but like he does some stuff. He's really different. As the president of the Big Man Alliance, I really like those three guys. Any other big guys, I'm not really feeling. So when he say I hate all big men, I don't hate all big men. I just don't like the big men that don't play like big men.
Do you think there would be any benefit to Joel at times saying, you know what, I'm channeling my inner Shaq right now?
Fuck Shaq. Just play the odds. If I got a guy 6'7" on me, I'm not shooting no jumper, even if I know how to shoot the jumper. One, I'm gonna try to get him in foul trouble, get my team in a penalty, and the percentages go up when you move closer to the basket. It's just so, why you want to dribble between your legs and shoot jumpers? Like, when it goes in, it looks pretty. But when it doesn't go off in playoff situations, you're going to have to live with that. Oh, you're the only MVP who never made out the first round. Yeah. And I know guys don't want to live with that. So I just want him to just, play to his ability. Like, if you got another agile big guy, you take him out and you go around him. But anybody that's smaller than you got to go in the post and then go to work. And then once they double you, you make it easier for Maxey. Yeah. Maxey's a good player, but if he don't have to work as hard, I think he can be a lot better. Like, Maxey was doing all that, and he's young and all that, but I wanted to make the game easy for Penny, Kobe, and D-Wade. Let me go down here and jump hook these motherfuckers to death. And then when they start fouling and doing all that stuff, then I'm gonna kick to you, then y'all go to work. So that's what I think about Joe.
Last couple questions. It's been what, 13 years now?
Yeah, 13.
You took on another role in what you've been doing at TNT with the Inside the NBA crew. What did you first think you was getting yourself into as opposed to what it's turned into?
I wanted to be the Black Brian Gumble and use big words and do all that. And TNT said, motherfucker, we'll fire your ass tomorrow. Be you. And I think that's what makes our show the best show out there. G14 classification. Barkley Hall of Famer, Shaq Hall of Famer, Kenny 2-time champion, and Ernie, best analyst in the world.
Yes.
But you guys can be yourself. And we make fun of people, we crack jokes, we do a lot of stuff. Because you also have to realize after watching 2 games, good games or bad games, the fans that are real people and have to work in the morning, if we're going to keep you up past your bedtime, at least we want to do is entertain you. And I think the reason why they hired you, you're very intelligent.
Thank you.
And you're definitely one of us. You know how to crack jokes. You and Charles at the All-Star game, y'all have me rolling. So welcome to the team, and I'm glad you're here. But I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But TK, he was a producer there. He was like, we don't want you for all that shit. Just talk about your experiences, talk about what you know. And he said, people know you know what you're talking about because you did it. Because you did it. And so they just, told me to just, be myself. I wish I could talk more. Charles is good at fucking talking, and then when you're supposed to fucking rotate, he'll say something again. That's why I snapped on his ass. I said, yo, motherfucker, 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2, and back to motherfucking 1. Like, he cut motherfuckers off repeating himself. Like, bro, you said that shit. I've been here 12 years. You say the same shit every year. Chris Paul's the greatest league. Motherfucker, we heard that. Say something different.
That's funny. We had Chuck on the show a couple years ago, and I asked him, y'all get into these heated arguments. Do you ever really get pissed off?
No. Because it's a perfect story. I'm like you. I will fight you and do whatever. So one time this motherfucker, and I never had no problem with Charles. It's the same way you looked up to me, I looked up to Charles. Charles let me know it was okay to elbow a motherfucker in the mouth. My father used to tell me, you need to be like Barkley and knock him off. So in college and even in the league. So we playing in Houston one day. Charles is older. The motherfucker hit me in the head with the ball. I can't let that shit slide. I can't go back to any barbershop, any motherfucking crib, nothing. Now I got to knock this motherfucker out. But the mistake I made was I leaned too far to the left and he went that way. I wanted to throw the left because I wanted him to come inside. I was going to try to knock that motherfucker's head off to let him know, like, hey, I ain't one of these motherfuckers you can throw the ball at. So, bro, by the time I got to the motherfucking tunnel, Uncle Jerome handed me the phone. And I'm like, hello? And it was my mom and Charles' mom on the phone. It's like, y'all shouldn't be doing it. I was like, who's this? She's like, my mom. Shaq, this is Charles' mom. So, you know, when it's moms, even though I'm mad at him, I ain't going to be like, fuck it's yes, ma'am. Y'all stop that shit. I done already talked to Charles. Y'all hug that shit out. And, you know, she was not ghetto, but she was hard.
Uh-huh.
She was like, y'all cut that shit out. Y'all don't need to be fighting. So mama dropped that final order. I'm not going to go against my mama ever. So I'm walking down the hall. He walking down the hall. I'm looking at him like, motherfucker, even though my mama said that, you make a move, I'm going to knock you out. So he started laughing, I started laughing. And then I finally see my mom say, well, what was that about? She said, me and Charles' mom been best friends for 30 years.
Crazy.
Yeah. So one time I seen them playing cards, it's the same shit me and Charles do. You don't know I'm playing no motherfucking spade, like they, but it's respectful. So even though we argue, I know as a man you can't disrespect another man.
Yeah.
I think like men that have the same principles, you can talk to each other same way. Like my little guy over there, that's my cousin. We grew up together. We fight every fucking day, but we don't disrespect each other.
Yeah.
And the fact that we don't disrespect each other, you can say what you gotta say, I say what I gotta say. So, you know, I'm never mad at him to the point where I want to beat him up because one, my mom would be upset. His mom passed away. She was so nice, my mom. She would be upset. So even if he said something crazy, I know he's not disrespecting me. I know it's just Charles. I'll just let it go.
Before we get out of here, obviously, as you know, I think, you know, being one of the more successful businessmen to come through the NBA, you know, we see Junior Bridgman, Magic, you know, and you have put yourself in that category, you guys. So you understand business. You guys have had, and I'm honored to grace the stage with you all whenever I get the opportunity. But what you guys have built at Inside the NBA has been special. Business is business, and there's a TV deal coming up with the possibility of Turner not, you know, having broadcasting rights. That is a possibility. If that's to happen, everybody wants to know what happens with this crew. You know, you guys, you four guys, like it's the premier show when it comes to NBA basketball. What happens with this group from your perspective? How do you see that?
I don't like to think left, which is negative. I don't like to think right. I like to think what it is. So until we hear what it is, I don't know. You know, I'm glad I have different options to fall back on, but you know, when I go left, it starts to get sad. Like, damn, no Ernie, no Chuck, no Kenny. Then when I think right, it's a lot of other possibilities. So great possibilities, but right now I'm gonna just stay in the middle. And you brought up a name, Junior Bridgman, another guy who I'm jealous of. I remember one time I'm walking through the airport and I saw the 10 richest athletes. It was a Time article. I was like, motherfucker, I'm number 2. I ain't fucking with Mike, but shit, I'm number motherfucking 2. Magic may be number 2. So fucking, I'm number 3. So I look at the list. I'm like, Mike, fuck. Magic, fuck. And then Junior Bridgman, 600. I'm like, who the fuck is Junior Bridgman? So I'm like, 800 million. So now, instead of being envious, it was like, jealousy motivates me, brother. Been like that since I'm a kid. Like, you see a kid, like, I always tell my son, when you go to these AAU tournaments, find out who's who. Make sure you go at them. So, like, for me, I was always behind Kenny Anderson. So when I went to the motherfucking McDonald's All-American game, I met Dick Vitale. I was like, hello, Mr. Dick Vitale. And he's like, and you are? So this motherfucker don't know who I am. Oh, shit. And everybody he's sucking off Kenny and Jimmy Jackson and all these motherfuckers. I said, okay, motherfucker. So I told Mr. Vitale, I said, you don't know me yet, but tomorrow at 12:30, the whole world gonna know my game. So that shit motivated me. So I'm looking at Junior Bridgman like, fuck, this motherfucker on all this shit. And it just makes me work harder because we like stories. I like to open that Time magazine and see Shaq 2-3 billion. Like, so I'm not there yet, but I think I'm working, you know, to a way to get there. So like just want to tell athletes, it's okay to be jealous at times, but just make sure you use it as motivation and not hate.
Big fella, I appreciate you, man.
I'll see you in about 30 minutes.
Yes, sir. Draymond Green Show.
And y'all wouldn't have beat us in the finals.
Easy. Easy money.